we have a, a rather trash tweet that I'm going to share with you all. So let's see. All right, so here we go. This is crazy. Every I meet or run into that try to talk always ruins it because they say one thing that turns me off. They'd be like, "Oh, by the way, I'm HIV pos undetectable, bruh. Move around. I'm HIV negative. That shows me y'all just out here anything with a pulse." I just want to know what your guys' reactions to that were, because there was a lot of chatter or a lot of comments after that tweet that popped up, and I want to know initially what were your thoughts when you came across that.
I'm tired of this conversation, to be honest. I think that we've been discussing HIV in the Black gay community or that community, whatever, specifically for long enough to know that that is a reach, that's incorrect. I think that social media's been around. We've had these kind of dialogues, or I hate that some people like monthly are like, "Would you date somebody with HIV?" Like, shut up. It's just stupid. It's like you want attention. Also, too, I think it's very ignorant as well. Like that whole what is it, the CDC statistic that like 1 in 2 of us in like X amount of years will have it. So it's like, okay, now not to lean into that, but just saying that that is true. That's the path that we're on. You're going to come across a man who has HIV, and what is wrong with him sharing that he has that with you? Like, if anything, he's being upfront and honest. What is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to add, like, to really just build on the whole like ignorance thing, the fact that they took the time, the fact that if this is a real situation, the person took the time to be like, "Oh, I'm undetectable," bruh. Pick up a book, do a Google search. That means you're good.
Right.
Like, there's so many studies. There's too much information out in the world for you to still be this stupid. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's too much information out here for you to not understand what how HIV can be transmitted, including what undetectable means. There's too much information out here for you to feel as if we're still in the days of pose, where if you get HIV, you're gonna die. Like, we're so far beyond that, and people still building up this conversation. People still talking about, "Oh, well, I would never do this. I would never date somebody that's HIV positive." Would you do that? Like, bro, it's time out for that. Like, you clout chasing. Shut up, sit down, read the book.
Yeah. And honestly, most of us probably have dated or either had sex with somebody who has, whether we knew it or not.
Yeah, because
the statistics are just too high.
And I'm gonna say, and then on top of that, the people who be complaining about folks about dating people that's HIV positive, be folks walking around here with freaking blue waffle and ain't been tested since they were born. Like,
what is blue waffle?
Don't Google it. Don't. Don't.
I don't know. I don't know what that
is. Just know that it is. Just know that it is an STD that is horrid.
But even that part too is like the fact though that they are undetectable. So that means that they are taking their medicine. That means that they are going, regularly to get checked up to make sure that everything is still unchecked. Also, as well, people with HIV typically get tested for other STDs as well too, since they have to go so regularly. So it's like probably the safest person you could have sex with.
Yeah. I just, like I said, the tweet was trash, and that that account was suspended. In fact, I don't even think it exists anymore. It has just, left the planet. So, and rightfully so. And he got dragged to infinity with that one. So
that part.
So, I mean, and we always get questions. So this is kind of the next thing that I wanted to run into is just, we always get questions like, would you date someone who's HIV positive? And I also think in straight circles, we get questions like, would you rather your daughter be a hoe or your son be gay? And I was just curious, like, what do you guys think about questions like this that are just obviously, I don't know, I just feel like they obviously lean into conflict or trying to rile stuff up just for the sake of interacting with people online.
Like you said, clout chasing. It's like homophobia and misogyny. Just shut up.
Yeah.
That's really like
I think I hate too how like so many straight men have daughters and then they're like so protective, but they're so protective because they were trash.
Right.
Why were you trash then? Like, I don't like, why does it take you having a daughter for it to click? And even then it doesn't click with you. It only clicks when it comes to men dealing with your daughter.
Right.
They still be trash to their girlfriends or wives or whoever else. So I'm just like,
it's very strange. It's very strange. So last question is, what would it take to get past the stigma of HIV?
We need, and like really need to have like some serious sex education. Like there's a lot of layers to that. Like there's a lot of reasons why, but I think that we really got to get to the point to where people stop making stupid statements like that. Because while on one hand, I do think that this person is clout chasing, I will also say they probably really don't know for real that, you know, what undetectable means. They probably really don't understand, like, you know, how a person who has HIV, how they live their life and so on and so forth. So we have got to get to the point where we are having these real conversations about, hey, this is how you get this. This is how this is transmitted. If you do contract this, this is how you know you can treat yourself. This is what undetectable means. This is what, you know, what your what your blood counts mean. Like this is all of this stuff that's important for us to know, because we see the statistics. We understand, you know, like what those situations and things that we're living in. We have to know how to fight it. We have to know how to live through these times that we're in. And I think one of the only ways we can do that is by actually having conversations about it.
Yeah. You know, I just find it so strange, and you know, maybe this is me with my privilege hat on, but I just find like there's so much information out there that's readily available that sometimes I feel like you can't even really run away from. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, how do you not know this already? I don't know. Like,
I think it's easy to ignore stuff that you don't want to pay attention to. So I can get how they can be willfully ignorant or obtuse to things. But I also think too, it's like our community is affected by this too much for you to still be that ignorant. I get if you don't know every single in and out, fine. But that tweet right there, completely uncalled for. Like it's completely fake, false. Or it's like also too conflating having HIV with being a hoe.
Right.
And also too, I don't like it too how that's also the only STD that's like ever mentioned.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. All right. So I think we got a good rounded conversation on that. Is there anything else? Because I feel like it's an important conversation. I don't know if there's anything that we missed. If there is anything that we missed, is there anything that you want to say about this before we move on to Greenleaf?
Just get tested for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Said and for what?
I said and be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do feel like for me, I feel like safe sex is knowing your status, all of those statuses, and then being honest before having sex with whoever you're gonna have sex with. That doesn't necessarily, for me, safe sex does not always mean a condom. It means honesty.
Definitely.
I must say, I also would want to add that, you know, everybody needs to be honest. Like, we shouldn't just put that just on a person who, you know, may or may not have HIV. Like I said, you have people who are walking around here who haven't been tested since they started having sex, going out here, you know, having all sorts of things. But folks are refusing to get tested, or they do get tested and they see that they're HIV negative, so they think that they're good, not knowing that there is an entire laundry list of other things that you could be out here passing around to people. But you think that just because you don't have the big one that you safe, like that's not
exactly
right. So I still, maybe we can have a private conversation. I still want to know what blue waffle is. I don't want to Google it, but
I can see you a screenshot. You want to do that for me?
No, please.
I'm sending you links.
I'm scared.
I'm sending you links. I can send you that too. Let me go ahead.
Well, that was a new one. I was like, what? What is that? Okay.
Child, all 4 6 education was rough.